Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Coffee Talk. If you've just joined, Coffee Talks are the short in-between episodes where we read your user-submitted stories, hang out with friends, talk about witchy pop culture, or chat with you about what is going on in our personal practices.
And if you want to be featured on Coffee Talk, email us at submissions@coffeeandcauldrons.com, or you can send us your submission on our website, coffeeandcauldrons.com. You can send us your tips, your ghost stories, or any kind of funny story you think the community would love to hear. Be sure to let us know if we can share your name, or if you just want to, not share it. And your social your social media usernames are also a great way to get credit.
Your social security number is a great way to get credit.
It's on my mind. I'm going to the DMV today, guys.
This season also, we are taking your voicemails, which we are going to be sharing voicemails this episode. And if you would like to send us a story, but writing an email is just not for you, you can leave us a voicemail at 351-207-0799. It does have a 3-minute cap, so if your story is longer, no big deal. Just call back and continue your story. We will piece it together. Additionally, on July 26th, we've got our class this month with Amanda Paulson of Pretty Effin' Spooky. Her class is going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it will be a class on automatic writing, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We've had Amanda on our podcast before, and she is amazing.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And Amanda is... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We actually did like some automatic writing and stuff like that in her class at the Teen Wild retreat last year, and it was really neat. So 10 out of 10. Recommend. It's great.
I'm really excited. As a reminder, if anybody does want to join that class, it is for the library tier and up on Patreon. If you can't make it, but you are interested, you just have to be in the library tier and you can watch it later, as well as you get a backlog of, I believe at this point, this is our 18th class. So you have 17 previous classes before that, as well as all the articles and stuff like that. So we have a lot going on over there. Do read your tiers in full before joining, but we would love to see you. Patreon is what makes this podcast possible. So thank you, everyone who is a Patreon member.
Yes, thank you.
This week, we are listening to voicemails. We don't have a lot of them, but that is what we're going to listen to because we want to hear your stories.
Yes.
So let me get those started.
Hi, love the pod. My Instagram handles are Miss Laura Suzanne and Empress Tarot Nashville. In, I would say, October of 2022, you read a story from me where the night that I told my dad that I was pregnant with my first child, there's a lot of like opening and closing of cabinet doors. Not quite sure which episode it was. However, you guys read that after my dad had passed, and just a little update on how he's doing up there in the wherever he is. I reached out to a medium, having the time of his life up there. I'm very much still a daddy's girl, and I ask my dad for money still. And the last time I asked him for money, as like a little joke, because he's a prankster, he sent me a child support check. My dead dad sent me a child support check, and it was the funniest, saddest day of my life. I just thought it was hilarious, and I thought everyone would like to know that. And that's it. That's the voicemail. Love you guys. Bye.
I'm so sorry to hear about your dad.
Yeah,
and that we read that story after he passed.
Yeah, I think I remember that one.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah.
I do remember that one. Yeah.
But I do like how dad is still helping out.
I am glad that you... Yeah, I think that's nice. Makes me a little furious on your behalf that a child support check is how that has to come to you. But regardless, I'm glad that you guys still have a relationship, even post-mortem. That's nice.
Yeah. What's our next
So we have one
Robyn?
more here. Let's go.
Hi, ladies. So I'm calling with a spooky ghost story. It's not a very long one, but I was just listening to your last coffee talk, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to call in with this one. So back, about a decade ago, it had to have been. I was in my late teens, early 20s. It must have been like right at 20, I would imagine. I was working as a nurse aide at a local nursing home, and it was a pretty good sized private nursing home. We had a 40 bed regular building, and then we had a separate dementia unit that was a 10 bed, almost like a little house, and you would get locked in. There was a code to get in and out, and it was a lot of people who, in the medical field, for lack of a better term, were considered to be flight risks. They might just decide they don't want to be there anymore and walk out the front door. And as you can imagine, with someone with dementia, that's probably not super safe. So I worked night shift, and looking back, I don't know how this was safe or legal. On night shift, there was only one aide in that building for 10 residents. So it was just me from 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 in the morning with 10 people to take care of. And if I needed help, I could call down to the main building, but it would be a few minutes before anyone would get up by us. So one night I'm watching TV and I'm folding laundry. And just to give you a little bit of background, I was raised super evangelical, evangelical Christianity. And at the time, I still kind of subscribed to that. I no longer do because I'm calling here, obviously. But at the time, it was very much the demons, ghosts aren't real. It's all demons, am I right? So that's the tone, okay? Looking back, I've got a fresh set of eyes
right?
to see this for what I now truly believe what it was. But so I'm working. It's 3 in the morning. I'm folding grandma's laundry. I got swapping the laundry. Got one load in the dryer, one load in the washer, and I'm folding one person's laundry. And I'm sitting, and it's perfectly quiet. I didn't have the TV on. Everyone's sleeping. And it's 3 in the morning. I'm by myself. So I'm back, and I realized I didn't say my name or anything. So my name's Meg. My handle on Instagram is Mama Bird Megs, Maegs. But anyway, so I'm sitting there. I'm folding laundry, right? And we had everyone who lived there had their own bedroom and their own little private bathroom, but there was a common living room space, a common dining room space, and a common kitchen. So I'm sitting in the common living room space, and there's a really nice little fireplace with the TV mounted on the fireplace and a floating shelf with a VCR DVD player combo, a stack of DVDs, and plugged in off to the side and whatever. So I'm sitting there folding laundry, and literally out of nowhere, the DVD player VCR combo flies from the shelf and shoots 6 feet to the right of me. And it almost was like if someone were really, really pissed and they slapped all their stuff off of their desk and slid everything off. That's what happened, right? And the shelf was I'm kind of on the short side, so I'm 5'3", and when I stand in front of the fireplace, that's right at my head level is where the shelf was. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and it just goes flying, unplugs from the wall. It flew with such force, it unplugged from the wall, and I'm holy crap! What just happened? And really slowly, whoever was mad. I I don't know, was mad at how I was folding the socks or something. So they were mad. But I remember at the time, like, just being a youth and, like, deep in evangelical Christianity, be like, oh my, the demons are here, you know, like, totally freaked. But, like, looking back, I believe it was a previous resident who had passed. Because, I mean, when you work in healthcare, especially in, like, end of life dementia, like, it's there's a lot of passing that happens. So you get really pretty comfortable with death. But I now believe it to be, like, a prior resident who was really unhappy with something, and at 3 a.m, decided to throw a hissy fit. I don't know, man. But, like, I remember thinking it was the demons and then being immediately pissed that the demons or the ghost or whoever it was trying to wake up my grannies and my grandpas at 3 a.m. And I was like, hey, like, let them sleep, for crying out loud. Like, they have some well-earned rest, my guy. Like, stop trying to wake up my people. Let them rest. Anyway, so that's my story. I love you guys, and I can't wait to hear your next episode. I just finished this coffee talk today, and that came out today. And I love you guys, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
That's literally so funny. So, a fun little story that goes off this. My uncle worked in a hospice until really recently. And he constantly talked about stuff like this. He was constantly talking about how, like, there was, like, ghosts or, like, spirits, and they would have spiritual cleansers come to the hospice and cleanse it monthly.
This.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild. That is really wild. But I totally believe it 100%. Like, I feel like a lot of people in the medical career, especially the ones that are in medical care for, like, late in life people, totally believe in spirits after everything that they see. And it doesn't surprise me that a dementia place would have, like, a tremendous amount of energy going on, or even, like, lost spirits and stuff like that. So
my grandma just moved into an assisted living facility literally this last weekend. And the first thing I thought when we were sat in there is, how many people have died in this room?
Very well and healthy, Robyn. Very well and very healthy.
I'm well adjusted. I'm well adjusted. I've just got silly, goofy mental illness. But that was the first thought I had. Like, obviously, beyond, I'm glad to see she's here. I'm glad to see that she's okay. Like, past the initial, like, oh, I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad to see the transition. Well, because she went from a rehab facility to there. Mm-hmm. And so, obviously, I had the normal positive thoughts first. Mm-hmm. Glad she's here. Glad she's okay. But then once those thoughts were done, I was like, I wonder how many people have died in here. And there's, like, they have these little ledges. So their facility, their rooms are like little apartments without the oven because they don't give them fire, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And outside of their little apartment doors, every apartment has their name and their number, and then there's, like, this little ledge where you can put stuff on, and, like, people have got, like, Minnie and Mickey figurines and, like, plants and stuff. Mm-hmm. And there was stuff on her ledge that was not hers, and I was like, well, that's from whoever died here last. So I was having a lot of really healthy, normal thoughts about all that.
Well,
one does.
I want to know her thoughts, like, if she experiences anything, because we both know she'll say something. So
she's not going to tell me.
You don't think she'll tell you?
She will not tell me. No way. I think that the only reason she would tell me is if she was trying to get out of there and be like, and also it's haunted, because she's a very strong, independent woman who does not need a man. Okay. That's, if there's one thing about Stella, is that she does not need anyone. Okay. She is a strong woman.
Is that what she tells herself?
Which is obviously not true. But that is the mentality that she goes into things. That is her mental illness. And so she would definitely not tell me if there was a problem because she could handle it herself. That's how she got into this mess in the first place. But that's not for the internet to know about. But as you and I privately know, that's how she got in this position in the first place. It's because she's a strong woman. She don't need shit.
No.
And honestly, good for her. I hope when I'm her age, I'm like, I don't need jack shit from anyone. I think being stubborn is a very good trait.
Very good. Yes. It'll definitely keep you alive for a very long time.
It's fine. I was talking about it in the Discord today that my youngest child, the one that I had back in December, has been getting all these milestones really early because they're watching both their older sibling and also some friends who have a baby that is 3 months older than my baby doing things, and so they keep just doing it, and I'm like, that's my baby doing stuff out of spite. Love that for them.
That is so funny. No, like I wonder if that person who called Meg, right? Like went up and asked like other people about the situation if they had any experiences and stuff like that, or it's just like, don't talk about it.
Follow-up question.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah, Meg, let us know. Did you guys talk about it or ever? Not even necessarily that specific situation, or if like having worked in an assisted living facility where people died a lot, if you guys like routinely talked about stuff like that.
Yeah. Because that is a crazy amount of energy to like remove a DVD player and unplug it and make it play across the room. But yeah, as I said, there has to be like a tremendous amount of like frustrated spirits there, who may still have
especially
dementia.
If they have a dementia wing.
Or even if it's just residual energy too.
My grandfather passed recently, or last year, I guess, and he had dementia. And you could just see when he was still alive how much of him was just frustrated because he didn't understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So I'm curious. Let us know.
Yes, please.
Well, that being said, thank you all so much for joining us this episode. We've run out of voicemails, so send us your voicemails. We love hearing your stories, but we also have a ton of written ones to get through, so no stress if not. We hope to see you next week for our regular episode. You can check out our website for links to our submission forms, shoot us an email at submissions@coffeeandcauldrons.com, or, as we already said, leave us a voicemail at 351-207-0799. We would love to hear any ghost stories, witchy stories, tips, or topics that you think the community would love to hear.
And as always, if you enjoy Coffee and Cauldrons, please take a moment to review us on wherever you're streaming this. Or if you want to support us directly, consider joining our Patreon. It's what keeps us up and running. And we have articles on there, monthly classes. We have a bunch of fun events in our Coven tiers. And we have a Spell of the Month box. Like, we have so much going on. Like, come join us.
We have so much going on.
It'll be a good time.
Please join us. Because we have a pretty cool community and we hang out in there and we would love for you to hang out with us. If not, that's okay. Just listening is also a great way to support. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
See you next time.